Hey guys, so today I want to take a little break off music for a little bit and talk about a show I just got into, believe it or not. Yes, I'm behind, but I watched, I'm on season 3 now, and I gotta say, I really like what I see. The show is called Stranger Things. It's set in the 1980s, and basically what's about this girl named Eleven, or AKL, escaped from an MK Ultra society, and basically she befriends this group of middle school boys, and basically they join forces to stop evil. And that's pretty much what the show is about. It's a big nostalgia trip. But today I kind of wanted to put my love for it aside and talk about, is the show genius or is it overrated? And the reason why I wanted to do this, because there's a lot of articles and reviews, especially on YouTube, adjusting the show may not be as good as we think. But is that true? Well, today we're going to figure this out. First of all, I would like to say, putting my biases aside, I actually kind of like the setup of the show. It gives a good kind of Stephen King-ish, kind of mixed with Goonies feel. And I really like that. It's really interesting. However, I can understand some people not really understanding the plot. I take that back. People may understand the plot, but I don't think people will understand the 1980s. Let me explain. When you think of the 1980s, most people think of the more pop culture 80s. This show ain't really the pop culture 80s. Yes, it has a couple nods to things from the pop culture of the 80s, but it's not shoved down your face like most shows that take place in this era would do. It's and the soundtrack doesn't just have hair bands, a genre I personally don't like. I don't like hair bands. But it has a lot of genres I do like, ranging to punk, to like indie bands I really like, or alternative, or college rock they used to call it. Now, let's go through the characters. The main point about this show, and I would have to say, even as a fan, I kind of have to agree, the love between this one boy and L. I forget the boy's name, sorry. But I would say the relationship is kind of forced, really. I'm not going to get too much away, but it doesn't kill the show. But man, does it really make it forcible? I'm sorry, but they really have no reason to be more than friends. It's just, it's put there. I mean, I don't really hate it per se, but I can see some people being kind of like question mark over that, because it really makes no sense why they would like fall for each other, because they seem like good friends. They help each other out and all that stuff. So I don't really understand where the relationship angle of the story comes in, but that's just me. Now, the thing I will give the show good credit for, and I have a lot actually, but one thing I will, is it does have good social commentary in there. Yeah, the show is a nostalgia trip, let's be honest. So with this nostalgia trip, even comes somewhat, questioning of the era. Even though there's a lot of love for the 80s aesthetic, there's a lot of questioning. For example, the show questions sexism, racism, and classism. Believe it or not, it's in there. And I like that. You know, it shows, it doesn't just try to throw in, oh, the 80s. The 80s was the best. The 80s was the greatest. No, it says, you know, a lot of good stuff in pop culture came out in the 80s. But but actually in the 80s, there was a lot of injustices in the world. And I like that kind of social commentary. It's interesting. But, and the other reason I think may turn people off, it's set in the 80s, but they use CGI. Let me be clear here. I understand it's hard to use puppetry nowadays. It's hard. You can't pull off the gremlins too much anymore, and it costs a lot of money. But couldn't they at least try, or at least have like a mix? I don't know. I mean, this show seemed like a big budget show. It's just when I see CGI, it doesn't remind me of the 80s. You know what I mean? But that's just my little nitpicks, huh? Why Netflix, yeah. My little nitpicks, why people may or may not like the show. Personally, I love the show. I think it's interesting. I think the characters, for the most part, are good. Check it out. And see to yourself, have you seen Stranger Things? Do you like it? Is it genius or is it overrated? Let me know down in the comments.